Hi children, now we are going to discuss in chapter 9 Rampur, a village economy. The story of the Rampur village name changed is based on the details case study. The writer visited the village and observed the changes in the village. Farming is the major production activities in Rampur. Other production activities, non-farming activities such as including small manufacturing, transport, shopkeeping, etc. Now we are going to discussing about the farming in Rampur. Rampur lies in the fertile alluvial plains of the Gangetic Basin in the western part of the Uttar Pradesh. Along with Punjab and Haryana, western Uttar Pradesh farmers has a continuous belt of agricultural prosperous region. The village is well connected with the neighboring villages and cities. Raiganj, a big village, is 3 kilometers away from the Rampur village. Another a small town nearby the Rampur village, that is Jahangirabad, 12 kilometers away from the Rampur village. So this village is connected with different types of transport items, mainly bullock carts, tongas and bogies, that means wooden cart drawn by the buffaloes, loaded with jaggery and other commodities. Some vehicles like tractors, motorcycles, jeep and trucks we can see on the road. Farming is the main production activities in Rampur village. Majority of the working people are depending upon the farming for their livelihood. They could be farmers or laborer. Now we are going to discussing about the land and other natural resources. Land is the most crucial factor necessary for farm production. Without land, we can't cultivate any production. In Rampur village, since 1921, there has been no expansion in land area under the cultivation. Some of the people cleared the forest and converted into cultivation. After 1921, the nearby forest had been cleared and some of the wasteland in the village were converted to the cultivated land. During the rainy seasons, also called Kharif, farmers growing jowar and bajra. These are growing as a cattle feed also. It is followed by the cultivation of potato between October and December. In winter season, also called Rabi season, the farmers grow wheat. Farmers keep enough wheat for the family consumption and sell the surplus at the market yard in Raiganj. A part of the land is under the sugarcane, which is harvested once in a year. Sugarcane is the main raw material for the jaggery. The jaggery the people sold to traders in Jahangirabad. To grow more than one crop on the same piece of land during the year is known as multi-cropping. The farmers in Rampur growing at least two main cropping. Many are growing potato as the third crop. Farmers in Rampur are able to growing three different crops in a year due to the well-developed irrigation system. Before electricity, the Rampur village, the Persian wheel were used by farmer draw water from the wells and irrigated small areas. After came to electricity in their village, the farmers using electricity for their tube wells and wells. The first few tube wells were installed by the government. Afterwards, farmers started setting up their own tube wells. Not all villages in India have such a high level of irrigation. Irrigation is not even in the country. Example, coastal regions in our country are well irrigated. Deccan Plateau have low level of irrigation. Even today, a little less than 40% of the total cultivated area in the country is irrigated. The remaining areas farming largely depending upon the rainfall. Now box item, measuring land. The standard unit of measuring land is hectare. In the village, you may find land being measured locally, such as called ekra or cents or gunta. 1 hectare equal to 10,000 square meters. While intense use of natural resources like fertile land, water has led to increasing production, but fertility of land is declining due to overuse or excess use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Most of irrigation in India is based on tapping underground water. As a result, underground water table have fallen rapidly across the country. As the water table declining, the farmers have to drill deeper tube wells. It is burdened to the farmers. Look at the table and graph. This is the student activities here given. The cultivated area in millions. 1950 120 millions and 2010 140 millions. That means increasing year by year. But in the graph given, it shows 1950, 1960, 2010. Here given gaps 1970, 1980, 1990. This one have to complete with the help of the given table. Population of Rampur is about 2660. There are about 450 families belonging to the different castes. The upper caste families having a land more than 2 to 10 acres. Their houses, some of them quite large, are made up of brick and with cement plastering. The SCs, mainly Dalits, comprise one third of population and live in the more modest houses. Some people they living in the thatched houses. In Rampur, about one third, that is 150 families, are landless. Most of the landless are Dalits, that means STSCs. There are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. Few families of the large farmers have land extending over more than 10 hectares. 240 families cultivate small plot of land less than 2 hectares in size. Going to discussing about the land holdings. Here given example. In 1960, Govind was a farmer with 2.25 hectares of largely unirrigated land. With the help of his 3 sons, Govind cultivated the land. The family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from the one buffalo. Some years after Govind's death, this land was divided among his 3 sons. Each one now has a plot of land only 0.75 hectare. Govind's sons are not able to make a living from their land. They have to look for additional work during part of the year. The picture, this is the distribution of land in Andhra Pradesh. Here the size of the land not even. Some land very big portions, some land very small sizes, some lands very small sizes. Look at the table and pie diagram. Here given types of farmers and distribution of land cultivated by the farmers. 87% of the farmers having a 48% of cultivated land, and 15% of the large farmers having a 52% of the cultivated land. Look at the table. The small farmers having a less than 2 hectares of the plots. Medium and large farmers having a more than 2 hectares of the land. The given table and pie diagram tells about that the distribution of the cultivated land is unequal in India. Every producer required a number of items to produce a goods or service. Without these requirements, mainly land, water, forest, capital, labor, without these resources, we can't produce, we can't cultivate. The first requirement is land and other natural resources such as water, forest, minerals. Second requirement is labor. That means the people who will do work. Some production activities require highly trained and educated workers. Other activities require workers who can do or untrained. Each worker is providing the necessary labor for production. Unlike common usage, the labor referred to all human efforts in production, not just as a manual labor. For example, an engineer, manager, accountant, supervisor, machine operator, sales representative, or casual labor. Third requirement is capital. Capital again divided into 2 types: fixed capital or physical capital. Second one is working capital. Tools, machines, buildings comes under the fixed capital or physical capital. Requires some repairs and maintenance so that they remain useful and can be used year after year. So these are called fixed capital or physical capital. Raw material and money comes under the working capital. The various raw materials such as the yarn used by the weaver and the clay used by the potter are used up in a production. Money also required to buy other necessary material for the production. It is also working as a exchange between the market to the consumer, from the consumer to the market, from the market to the producers. That's why these are called working capital. The fourth requirement is the knowledge and entrepreneur. The entrepreneurs who produce for the market have to plan, organize and manage. These entrepreneurs could be farmers, shopkeepers, small scale manufacturers, service providers such as doctors, lawyers, etc., or large companies. The entrepreneurs should have a knowledge of the process of the production. Owners also have to take the risk of the market. So every production need these factors. That means land, labor and capital and knowledge or entrepreneur. These are called factors of production. Without factors of production, there is no production. Look at the picture. Write a caption that would describe the relation with the factors of production. The caption is: small farmers should carry the fields while the field carries by the big farmers. Now we are going to discussing about the labor for the farming. Farming means agriculture. After the land, labor is the most important for the production. Small farmers along with their family members cultivate in their own fields. Medium and large farmers employed farm laborers to work on their fields. Agricultural labor do not have a right over the crop growing on the field. Instead of they are taking money from the or wages from the landowners. Wages can be in cash or any kind. Sometimes laborer get meals. Wages are very different from region to region, from crop to crop, from area to area. Here given some story about landless farmer. Dala is a landless farm laborer who worked on daily wages in Rampur. This means he must regularly look for work. Dala's wages are less than what the Uttar Pradesh government has set as a minimum wage for labor. There is a heavy competition for work among the farm labor in Rampur. So people are agree to work for lower wages. That the farmers using tractors, threshers and combined harvesters instead of labor. Dala got less than 5 months of work on the farm. Dala and many like him have applied to village panchayati for work under MGNREGA. That means Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Under this act, the Government of India providing 100 days work out of 365 days who are living in the rural. Look at the picture, the potato harvesting in the Himalayas. Now we are going to discussing about the arranging physical and working capital. Most of the farmers have to borrow money for working capital from the large farmers or the village money lenders or the traders. The rate of interest very high with compared with the bank interest. Here given small story about Savita. Savita is a small farmer. She planned to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. She required seeds, fertilizers and pesticides. She needs cash to buy water and repair. For this purpose she needs minimum 6,000 rupees. She doesn't have the money. So she decided to borrow from the Tejpal, a large farmer. Tejpal agreed to give Savita the loan at 36% per annum interest rate, which is the highest interest rate for 4 months. Savita also has to promise to work on his field as a farm labor during the harvesting season at 100 rupees per day. Savita knows that she will have to work very hard to complete harvesting on her own field and the same time working as a laborer for Tejpal. She is a mother of 3 children. She has a lot of household responsibility. Savitri agreed to these tough conditions. The small farmers, medium farmers, large farmers generally have their own savings for seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, payments to laborers, etc. This saving money also called working capital. Working capital needs to for farming. Large farmers in this village have tractors, combined harvesters, threshers. These tools and machines are all the part of physical capital for farming. We are going to discuss about the surplus production and less production for the farmers. Small farmers like Savita and Govind's sons have a little surplus wheat because their total production is small. This small production is kept for their own family needs. Generally, the medium and large farmers who supply wheat to the wholesale market yard. Tejpal, the large farmer, has a surplus of 350 quintals of wheat from all his land. He is selling surplus wheat at Raiganj market yard. Like Tejpal, other large and medium farmers sell the surplus farm produce. Tejpal had put most of the money in his bank account. He also used the savings to arrange for working capital for farming. Like Tejpal, other large and medium farmers sell their surplus production to the market. Some farmers might also use the saving to buy the cattle, trucks, land, etc. Now we are going to discussing about the non-farming activities in Rampur. What is non-farming activities? The production activities other than the agriculture is known as non-farming activities. Example, transport to shopkeeping, etc. Only 28% of the people working in Rampur are engaging in activities other than agriculture. There is a common activity in many families in Rampur village. People feed their buffaloes on various kinds of grass and jawar and bajra, feeding for animal to get milk. The production factors of these activities are briefly described. These are all factors of production related to the Rampur village. Land, one shed in the village, labor, family laborers, especially women to look after their buffaloes, physical capital, buffaloes purchased at the cattle fair, and working capital, feed from their land, some medicines and purchased. Now we are going to discussing about the small scale manufacturing in Rampur. Here given example, Misri Lal has purchased a mechanical sugarcane crushing machine run on electricity and prepare jaggery. Earlier sugarcane was crushed by the using buffaloes, but these days people prepare to it by the machines. Apart from using the sugarcane that Misri Lal has cultivated, he also buy sugarcane from other farmers and process it into the jaggery making. Now the shopkeepers in Rampur. The shopkeepers of Rampur buy various goods from wholesalers market in the cities and sell them into the villages. The small general stores in the village sell a wide range of items like rice, wheat, sugar, tea, biscuits. A few of the families whose houses are close to the bus stations and railway stations and open the small shops, they sell eatable items like tea, samosa, kachari, etc. The women and the children in the families all share the work. Now transport in Rampur village. A variety of the vehicles on the road connect Rampur to Raiganj. Rickshawala, Tangawala, jeep, tractor, truck, and some people are driving the traditional bullock carts and bogies. Here given one more example. Kishore is a farmer labor. Like other such laborers, Kishore found it difficult to meet his family's need from the wages that he received. A few years back, Kishore took a loan from the bank. This was under the government program, which was given cheap loan to poor landless households. Kishore bought a buffalo with this money. He now sells the buffalo's milk. He has attached a wooden cart to his buffalo and uses it to transport various items. Once in a week, he goes to the Ganges to bring back clay for the powder. Sometimes he goes to the Jahangirabad with a load of jaggery and other commodities. This is the case study of the Rampur village. In the coming class, we will discuss chapter 18, Independent India, the first 30 years, 1947-77.